What is up, YouTube? Reverend Bob here. Well, this is kind of a little special segment. And my reason for that, an update, I don't know if you guys are into poetry. And if you're not, maybe you should. Sometimes poetry, even in your darkest hours, can uplift you. Or it may at least make you understand that there is other people in the world that really understand some of the things that you go through each and every day. I know poetry is something that is for selective types of people. But with that being said, I think that everybody can find something within poetry. Not all poetry is about flowers and trees and, dandelions and running through the woods bare ass naked, trying to find yourself in a fairyland from the 1960s. I had somebody ask me one time, they said, Pastor Bob, I don't like poetry. It seems like too flowery, like flower children. I said, no, that's not it. I said, you need to look at poetry in a different way. So, after explaining about poetry to the individual, believe it or not, I don't know if they still do, but they were reading poetry books back then. And that was many years ago. Now, you probably wouldn't take old Rev for liking poetry, but I do. I think there's some value in it. Now, let me go on to say that this book was written by George Berry, who happens to be a really good friend of mine, just a great and wonderful man. And if you want to get to know George Berry, or not, you should pick up this book. I believe you can get it on Amazon and some of your local bookstores. It's called The Reflections of an Old Soul. Now, one thing about George when he writes, you can tell that a lot that goes into his poetry is based upon real life things that have happened to him, or encounters, or things that he's seen in life. So there's a realism to poetry. He reflects upon certain things when he writes, and he emphasizes that in each one of his little short poems. I believe by looking at through some of these, because I haven't read all of them yet because I just received the book, it's very enlightening. You can tell a lot about an individual by the poems that they write. And I can tell you, this is not far from the man, because I know him personally. So what I would tell you to do is, if you have an extra few bucks, go and buy the book. I think you'll like it. I really do. I'm not doing this as a paid promotional thing or somebody asked me to do it. I'm doing it because I think that the world can simply find answers to their questions, or just an uplift in their daily lives just by reading a little bit of poetry. It just so happens that I know this man, so I understand the words a lot better. But a lot of poetry, you get to know the individual by what you read, a little bit about them. It's not the face, it's who they are as a person. So, with that being said, I just want to let you all know that it's something that you should read. If you like to read, even if you don't like to read, the great thing about poems is most of the time they're real short. So, you could come home every day and just read one poem. And there might be something in that poem that coincides with something that's going on in your life. And then another poem can be the answer for exactly what you're looking for that day. So, anyway, if you have the extra money, you have the time, and you're into poetry, or you're not into poetry, and you want to learn something about poetry, I would ask you to go out and find this book and read it. You will enjoy it. And then when you get done reading it, if you don't want to keep it on your shelf and go back for reflections, pass it on to somebody. Maybe they'll enjoy it too. Anyways, I just wanted to bring a little something special to the channel, because I'm into everything, guys. I'm not an idle person. And I do love the man. He's a great person. And I just think that, there's a lot of value inside of the book that I think that all of us can learn from. Anyways, like, share, subscribe. I might be on tonight. Who knows? I don't know. I got all kinds of stuff going on. But I love you guys. Take care. And remember, count your Morgans and not your pennies. Reverend Bob is out of here. See